Alright, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, here we are with another quick video. I'm just kind of slapping this together. A buddy of mine picked up, as you can imagine, the DJI FPV Fly More Combo. So we're going to go ahead and do an unboxing on this, take a look at it, maybe put some footage out a little bit later on the flights. But for now, let's just go ahead and take a look at what you get in the box, shall we? Go. All right, so here we are with the DJI FPV combo. Many of you have probably already seen this out and about, and I am sure there are about 1 trillion videos on it out there. However, this is mine, so here we are. I'm going to go ahead and crack this bad boy open. Yes, as always, I'm very odd about the way I open things, but we'll be fine. All right, get this plastic out. Here we are. Oh, they threw a little extra surprise for us on there. Man, they really threw a surprise on there. I think they're trying to hide it. There we are. All right. Looks like I'm upside down. Go ahead and take a couple more surprises. Alright, well, they did a really good job with the packaging. It is well padded. And as you can see here, it is actually not a bad little display once you open it up. First here we have the DJI Fly More goggles. Guessing these are where you're going to screw in the antennas. Did a good job protecting the lenses. It's not a bad foam. It seems like it actually might be pretty comfortable. Guessing these are kind of adjustments right here, but we will see. And that must be for the overhead strap. Nice ventilation right here. Not a bad looking one. I know I've seen a lot of the people out there, they're putting the eyeball stickers on the front. I think that's actually what I would do if I get myself a set. But I don't know, these kind of look cool like that, though it's a little buggy. Then we got the drone itself. She's a beauty. I mean, they did a really good job with designing the layout and actually how this thing looks. The pop-off gimbal protector. It's got a full side on there. Alright, now this is only a two-way gimbal. It's not a four-way access gimbal, so those of you curious out there, it only goes in 2 directions. And pop that back on for safety's sake. As you can see on the bottom here, the battery itself actually has the back legs on it. So for those of you just trying it out, I have heard many cases where people are bumping this on the ground and it's damaging the battery. So be very careful about where you're actually dropping this thing on the ground at. Or people that like to do that stone skipping stuff where they bounce the bottom tail end of their drone along the ground just for show and tell, it may not be the best idea with this drone. Got your down facing sensors, your obstacle avoidance that is, and I'm not seeing any side obstacle avoidance, so it looks like it's primarily just on the front and back. Okay, now if I remember right, these batteries had a weird little clip on how they actually stick in. Then it just kind of pops out like a brick here. It's very odd that they went and put the legs on the battery itself. You would think, especially these being smart batteries with the computer chips in them and whatnot, that they would actually avoid ever letting this battery touch the ground. But you know, I'm sure they got their reasons. You know, I'm going in backwards. It's not a bad little battery. It's a easy change out. So Those of you that got the Fly More combo with multiple ones, you'll be able to get back in the air that much quicker. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look at what else we got here in the box. Yeah, they did really well packaging this thing. Bravo, DJI. Ah, yes, the new controller. Now, I do really like this style controller and where they actually hid the knobs so that you can save store it. I was very interested in trying this one out because I absolutely love the Mavic Air 2's controller. However, this is a bit odd, I guess because of the fact that you always use the goggles. They did not include any way to connect a tablet and or phone, so that's interesting. But it's a very comfortable controller. It's, it's compatible to like an oversized, PlayStation. Actually, I'd probably say it's a lot more like an Xbox 360 controller with that size, but it's comfortable. It's not going to be something that's going to wear down on your hands as you use it. It's not going to be something that you're going to regret holding for any amount of time. Nice access to the modes changes, the camera changes. Alright, we will have to see how that plays out later. Let's see what else we got. This looks to be like it's going to be extra propellers, which indeed. Now mind you, the FPV drone does use a 3 propeller system, and the blades do not fold down as some of the other drones do. They feel a little flimsy. Maybe I'm just used to the more rubbery texture of the more cinematic drones, but maybe this is just what helps it to get more flight in the air with a little bit more speed. Looks like one set in here and possibly a second set. So with as much bouncing on the ground as I'm going to assume a lot of people out there are going to be doing with these, I would definitely suggest getting a couple more sets of propellers. As you hit this thing against anything once, and that propeller is probably going to be done for. And I imagine getting used to FPV alone is going to make you want to bounce it off things. And those of you that start getting a little free-handed inside of your bandos out there, you'll probably be knocking it around. Then we just got the standard set of charging cables. I have no idea what this is. Let's take a look. This looks like it's the strap for the goggles. Yep, that would be the strap for the goggles. Then we got the charging cord. Another USB charging cord. Looks to be USB-C adapters. And this, that's an odd little cable. Let's take a look here. Oh, these would be the antennas for the goggles. Oh, okay. Alright, well, I'm going to go ahead and pop these on just so we don't lose them. I'm very curious if there's actually somewhere on the goggles themselves to store these if you want to place them into a case or your backpack or whatever mode of transport you so desire to use. And these are just some extra knobs. They actually look like they might be, nope, they're the same ones. Yeah, they usually come with a second set of knobs on there, so that's good. That way if you lose them, I have been fortunate enough not to lose any of my knobs in the past, but it's always a good feeling to know you've got them in case you need them. Let's take a look at the goggles here. These guys screw in just like one of your router antennas. It looks like it's going to be a very similar format. Doesn't look like there's anywhere on the goggles themselves to save them, so I would suggest finding yourself maybe a little bag or something, or what I I personally find come in handy is if you go to the dollar store, you can get yourself a pair of those glasses cases. And what's nice about those is they're hard shelled and they're velvet lined. So you can kind of pop these in there and then throw them in your bag. You don't have to worry about them bouncing around, and you do not have to worry about them getting damaged because those cases are pretty much designed to protect things that you don't want to get broken. But that's relatively quick, relatively easy. None of this kind of pops out. Gives it a little bit more of a flare. Alright. What else do we got in here? Yes, I have no idea what this is. What is this? Is this like a battery storage thing? Oh no, this is so you can colorize the top of the drone itself. Okay, I guess that makes sense. If you got multiple guys out there, you know, flying the drone, you don't want them looking exactly the same, just for the fact that it'd be a little bit easier to spot whose is whose. So yeah, that's nice. That's nice that they did that. And you know, I imagine that this thing is very easily paintable, or even using plastic dip on it. I mean, plastic dip will probably be a little bit heftier, but you can pretty much make this thing any color you want it to be. It's just basically, I don't know. I personally like the smoke. I like the see-through just because it kind of gives a little thing, and maybe slap a sticker or something on there. You know, something that kind of identifies it as your own. But that's still very cool of them to have included a way to personalize it a little bit. It does make sense. I have seen a lot of these FPVs out there in that green color. I thought maybe everybody just got a case of the I love the greens lately. And then I gave you a little Allen wrench for installing said case cover. Not a bad little deal. Very cool of them to include that kind of stuff. Alright, let's take a look at the propellers on the drone itself. Oh, well, I guess I did have one more little box. Hold on a second. I'm guessing this is just going to be batteries, feeling the weight of it. And excuse how bright my video is. We've been playing around with this thing. I just got to the point where I was like, I'm just going to let him shoot this thing. We will worry about those things on another day. So this is a smaller LiPo. This must be for the headset itself. Let's see. Where would one actually insert the battery into this? What do you think, Saf? Where would a battery go in on this? Any idea? No idea? Now you're laughing because I called you Saf? Well, power button. I bet you it's super simple too. There's a USB-C. Here's the micro. So we're coming. Good Lord, I don't know. Oh, I wonder if is that what the Allen wrench was for? I don't know. Let's take a look at the quick instructions. So there's your charging brick. That would be what all those other cables connected to. And yeah, I know this video is running a little bit long, but hey, why not, right? Let's see here. So the Allen wrench. I kind of want to take this thing apart because I'm betting you gotta take it apart to put the battery in, which is kind of odd. You'd think they would give you the ability to change that battery out, you know, purchasing ones. I guess I'd need to find the actual language of the one I can read, yeah? Alright, let's see here. Yeah, here we are about reading instructions. It's never really a lot of fun. That is all... Boy, they just got every language in the world covered in here, don't they? There we go. Let's use the quick one. How about that? So, Oh, the battery stays outside. Battery stays outside. Oh, I got it. It's got an internal battery source, and this is a backup battery to charge it on the go. This is basically a USB brick to charge it on the go. So that's a really light battery to be in there already. It's got to be a LiPo or something in there. But yeah, it's just an external one. Or if it doesn't have one internally, it means you have to have this thing plugged into it on the outside. Because this is showing that you can use it on the remote to charge the remote. And it's showing it you can use it to charge the goggles. So I guess if your goggles start to croak on you, you can plug this guy in, maybe tuck it into your band or something. Oh, interesting. Well, that's kind of cool that they include another way for you to play it on the go. I was always thinking you were going to have to get a battery pack for it. Anywho, let's go ahead and take a look at these propellers. Very curious because I know DJI was having a little bit of issues with that proprietary click-on propeller stuff. It looks like they may have fixed that, and they went with the white and the red. So we're going to have to identify those. So these. Each box maybe a different kind. Oh yeah, each box had a different kind in it. I don't see any reason to not have just a full set in each box. That way you're ready to go to grab it. These propellers are going to be a little bit harder to travel with, but we always find a way, don't we? Alright, so definitely very secure. Twist on just like all the others. Red on red, blank on blank, as DJI is now doing with most of their drones. Let's see here. Oh yes, and I know all these stickers on this drone are probably driving a lot of you crazy out there. However, I'm not gonna take them stickers off yet. I'm gonna let the owner do that on his own time. Red on red. We just want to see how pretty this thing is with the propellers on it. And we'll get some footage of this thing, both in flight and from another drone's perspective on another video. Yeah, she's pretty. Very curious to see what other propellers you start coming out with it, some of the more silent ones. However, I do hear that this thing is actually pretty quiet. Even from about 50 feet away, it starts, you really don't hear a whole lot of it. And it's got a very cool startup sound that the other ones don't have. The other ones have that little chime, and this one's more like a growl. But the, what was that, Seth? Oh yeah, the lighting. I can't show you that, but the lighting's very cool in the arms. One thing I would be prepared to replace is I'm seeing a lot of people breaking these arms off from crashing them. And unfortunately, DJI does not sell your brushless motors by itself. So a lot of you FPV guys out there or that are used to just changing out individual parts when something happens, you're not going to be able to do on this drone. They sell the entire unit together, the arm with the motor on it with the lights. So you'll have to purchase the entire arm replacement to do that. However, if you have the DJI refresh, if you really dork it up, you can just get a new one. But we know you got a couple strikes on that before you start losing your value on it. So I would say, especially if you are new to the droning business, definitely get out there and practice a little bit. Don't throw that thing in acro mode just yet. Get a feel for it, you know, become accustomed to how she flies, and then get a little bit braver and a little bit braver. Other than that, from the drone itself, they do have, which I'm not going to open this. This is just a couple extra batteries that come with the Fly More combo kit, and then it's got the charging unit with it. We've seen 1,000 of these. There's no reason to go into that. However, for sake of video's length, this drone does now have a new mode of control. Now, I have seen a couple people use this. It actually is pretty cool how it does follow it. Now, I would warn you that the reaction time on it is obviously not going to be the same as using the controller itself. So be very aware of, you're probably not going to be using this thing to be running around in any bandos or running around in any forest or anything like that. But if you're out in an open field and things of that sort, it's probably going to be a nice little change of venue without having to put the goggles on. Let's go ahead and take a look at this guy. Let's get some of these other things out of the way. Let's see here, man, they really did hide that white tape on a white box, just sneaks up on you. Alright, let's go ahead and move you out of the way. A little less blammo on the packaging here. Instructions. So the controller is going to feel a lot like some of your camera controllers. It's got a really good click rate, and there's no give on it. It comes right back. The feel of it. Now it does feel a little plasticky, especially right here. So I would not be entirely too rough with it, because I can see especially this button here breaking very, very easily. I'll tell you what, let's get some of this stuff out of the way and give you just a little bit better view on it. Let's see here. So as you can see, the camera, move this strap too, yeah, before I stab myself with this knife. Alright, so this guy here has a nice little click rate, but the button I'm talking about is right there. See that guy? That feels a little loose, a little like it would be very easily to break. So just don't go all rage on it like you do with some of your gaming controllers, and you should be fine. It looks like it's a very sensitive bit there. But all in all, the drone itself is a very, very beautiful piece of technology. And with some of these changes to include the goggles, I think it actually might be a nice little find, nice little day out, if you were. But other than that, please like and subscribe, and check out some of these future videos, which will actually have the flight of whatever staff decides to name it. Other than that, y'all have yourself a wonderful day. Take care, and as always, be creative. Bye.